everyone. We are glad to have you here for the first session of Dev2Be on the second season. We are super excited to introduce you to Satyaanshu. He works as a software engineer in Microsoft in Azure networking under Core Org. And previously, he has worked as member technical staff at Adobe under Adobe Illustrator, if I'm pointing that right. And then it was ZS Associates and also Amazon India. So quite an experience. There's a lot more to the story, and I would love to hear it from Satyanshu itself. And welcome Satyanshu. The Dev2Be team is highly privileged to have you here. And Dev2Be is all about what message you have for the current tech learners, and also about asking your journey as a tech enthusiast. So, yeah, I will let you say something.
All right, so thank you for introducing me. That was quite a brief introduction. And I am a 2018 grad, and it's been roughly 3 years now, and I've already had experiences at almost 4 companies.
Yeah.
So I started off at Amazon as an intern, 6 month intern. Then I joined ZS Associates as an analyst. Then I switched to Adobe as the engineer in the Illustrator product team. And after working there for about 1.5 years, I came to Microsoft, and now I'm part of the Azure networking under Azure Core, as you so mentioned.
Yeah, congratulations on that. And so, what's the story of you getting into this field? And what was the love about tech and that passion about tech that brought you here?
That was actually, so it began from my childhood. So I think that was somewhere back in 96 or 98ish when I got my first computer, and I was quite enthusiastic by it. Like, hey, what's this machine? What does it do? And I used to play a lot of games. I used to paint. I used to do a lot of stuff. And when internet came around, I used to surf the web and find information here and there. And I was really fascinated by, wow, what is this cool gadget that we have here, and how do we, how does it work, and how can one make a career in it? So I started from there, and I sort of used to tinker around with the hardware. I used to open my machine up. I used to look around what's inside. Hey, how are things connected? It was very complex at first, and yes, I did fry up my machine a few times, but that's how I learned. And that's when I sort of realized that, hey, I am really passionate about this. I'm really interested in how this works. So maybe I can make a career in it. And that's when I came to my class 10th or 11th, I took up PCM with computers, and I thought, hey, let's give it a shot. Before I actually make a career in it, let me see what's there in the school curriculum. So we had C++, and I really enjoyed that. So, and from there it sort of built on, and then I did my engineering, I did computer science, and then all the job experiences that I've had. So I love it here.
I guess it's like every geek story that they somehow start off with burning on their RAMs or tinkering with their hardware, and it's absolutely amazing to hear that from you as well, because I personally did the same. So I am quite hopeful for myself now. Yeah. So you shifted roles from business analyst to software engineer. Was there a lot of difference between these roles, or did you choose it to change? What's the story?
Okay, so basically the business analyst part of things was more or less based on an advice I got from one of my seniors and the industry leader. So they said, so they looked at my resume, and they sort of advised me that, hey, you know what? So I have won a lot of accolades in math and Olympiads. So they said, you're good at coding, you're good at math. You know what? Consulting firms are gonna love you. So that's why I joined the consulting firm. I thought, okay, let's explore. Since I already had experience in Amazon, and I knew what the dev work was like, so I thought, let's give it a shot. So I joined the business consulting firm, and I worked there for roughly, I think, 7 or 8 months. And after working there, I kind of realized that my passion lied somewhere else. So that's when I decided, you know what, I want to be back where I started from. So I came back to the dev role.
It's more of you got attracted towards it again, right? Like round the clock. That's really cool. So, tell us about your experience about getting into Microsoft, sort of a thing. How did you end up being in Microsoft?
Okay, so I was reached out for Microsoft. I had asked a few of my friends for referrals who were already working. But the what worked for me was a recruiter reached out to me over LinkedIn, and I finally, I said yes, let's go for it. And I was working in Adobe, and I was part of the Illustrator team, and we were doing some good stuff there. But then this was Microsoft. This was my dream company. I, and I said, yes, okay, let's interview, let's go for it. So they scheduled my interviews during the initial COVID lockdown. And like, I just cracked it. So it just happened that, so they asked me questions I knew answers to.
That's
And
really great.
I cracked it, and then they sent me the offer letter, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in.
So, what was the work like? There's a work culture difference, and how do you appreciate it? Like, what's the most appreciative thing about Microsoft? What do you love the most about it?
I love that the diversity and inclusion is something that Microsoft believes in, and it's not just sort of a training we do as an employee. When you join, you're required to do some certain trainings. It's not just a training. It's not something that is just preached. It's something that is followed. And Microsoft in itself has been making a lot of strides in a lot of different sectors. And the motto of the company is to empower people. And I kind of believe in this idea and what we are doing, say, at Azure or even Microsoft in general as a company, what it's doing. So that sort of, resonates with my own beliefs. And that's why, so this is what I find something which is different for Microsoft.
Right. That's great. So, how's your contribution to clubs and tech communities? So, like, helped you to learn and grow more, and how has it impacted you as a person?
My contributions to the tech community. Okay. So I would say that um, I was part of the coding club. I still am. I'm a mentor now in my college, and I kind of give sort of placement training tips and all to my juniors, and I help them, like, okay, help them overcome or help them prepare for placements and what all rounds are there, and like what are the questions that they may ask, and how do you prepare for those things. So, and what they actually face in an interview. So that way it's like a feedback system for me, and me giving to the community from my own experiences, since I have so many at my disposal. So
Yeah.
I me giving to them, and then they giving back to me, I get to learn more. I'm sort of updated with what the current industry curriculum is, or what they are asking nowadays in the
Yeah.
interviews. So it sort of has helped me a lot, and also has helped my peers whom I've been mentoring.
Yeah, that's really thoughtful of you of like giving into the community back to what you have learned for so far. And it's absolutely great of you of actually doing it. That's amazing. So we also saw some hackathons that you organized at Amazon, I guess. So do you want to tell about that?
Okay, so that was basically an Amazon India hackathon,
Okay.
and I was the only intern who was part of the organizing committee.
Because
So
that's a lot of pressure.
I believe that's an achievement in itself,
Yeah,
since
definitely.
most of the organizers there were senior leaders, senior managers, and I was like, hey, you know what? I want to volunteer. I sent out a mail to the senior manager, and I said, hey, I'm still an intern, I know, but I would definitely like to, volunteer for this. And if you need any help, I'm at your disposal. So
Yeah.
that way I helped them design the logo of it. So basically, when the designing team was doing the designing, we were giving inputs to them, then arranging the event, the logistics, and what are the prizes, then calling the judges and everything, setting the entire panel up. It it was an experience in itself, and basically you get to know how it is done in the industry. Since I have already had organized a few events in my college, so I sort of had an idea that, you know what, we do this, we do that, and that's how we generally roll, and we do the stuff. But with in the industry, like, you have to everything has to be professional. You need permissions for everything,
Definitely.
and this is everything. This is there, and you need this, you need that, you need permission for literally everything. So that was quite an experience in itself.
That's absolutely amazing. So, you've quite answered this question as well, but it still arises me like, what changes do you feel from being to a little like Amazon, then ZS, it was Adobe, and then finally being in Microsoft? Like, what are the changes that you see, and has it personally outgrown you? That yeah, I've learned this from the various experiences. Do you? Yeah.
Right. So I would say that computer science is a vast field, and
Yeah.
you have a lot of different things that are there out there. Like you have web development, you have people trying to be machine learning engineers, you have people getting into AI, and people getting into cloud, like I am in now. So what I wanted was to find my passion, find my calling. So I know, like, people generally say, even I would advise that please find that in college when you have time, and don't keep switching around. But for me personally, I in Amazon, I was in the e-commerce domain. I saw what the e-commerce domain was like, how it worked from the inside. Then ZS was more of a business analyst role, what a consulting firm does, and what kind of services you give to your clients. Then when I came to Adobe, I was an application developer there. Like, you develop an end-to-end application and you maintain it. How does versioning happen, and how do you develop new features? Basically, how do you make sure that whatever feature you do, your application doesn't crash? The feature crashes, but the application doesn't. And moving on to Microsoft now in the Azure, now it's at a global level that you're dealing with the cloud. You're dealing with a billion customers, and everybody is running their businesses on your backend servers. So how do you make sure it all stays up 24/7 without any hitch? So these are different challenges, and I kind of wanted to explore all these different domains before finally, deciding into that, hey, this is the domain I want to be in. So, and so far, I'm loving it here.
That's absolutely amazing. Actually, you finally find your way towards the light. It sort of crashes into you. Yeah, that's absolutely inspirational from your end. And like, what is the advice that you would want to give to the recent graduates? Like you mentioned that I would wanted like graduate students to actually start exploring about the various domains that they have. So how do you suggest that they should do it?
Like I said, like, find your calling.
Yeah, like what's the advice for them, like the recent graduates?
Um, for them, I would say that, see, I know you're fresh grads now and you've just joined the industry. Work hard and try to learn. Basically, have that hunger. Be hungry, stay hungry, and keep on learning. Be whatever you have, like you see a new thing, you see a new technology, try to explore things, and have that curiosity in you. Ask questions. I know, like, don't people say that this is people think that this might be a stupid question, or am I even supposed to know this? But that's not the case in the industry. Actually, people are ready to help you. So ask for help, ask for guidance, and basically try to learn whatever you're given, or whatever projects you're thrown at. Try to take ownership of things, and be on top of it, and don't just think of it like, oh, hey, I just need to do a code change. Don't think of it like that. Basically, when you're working on something, try to see what the business model is, like, why is this required, and basically from the problem statement to your solution, you should know end to end. So try to focus on these things, so you'll learn at a much faster pace.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. So we have this psych round in this season, and we are trying to know the geek side of the person that we are inviting. And yeah, so might you like one word answer or a line or anything works from your end. And so here we start. So what kept you consistent through time?
I believe in a phrase or a motto that is, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Definitely words to like I don't know, quite impactful. I was to live by, and while being in this section, the technical section, you cannot make your way through the solution itself, and it takes a lot of time sometimes. And I'm being in a final year, I know that it took a while. So your consistency really breaks you through if you don't do it like that. So totally, I could relate to it. So what is the learning that has always that you have always carried, like like from the beginning of your journey that, yeah, this is something that I need to stick to actually achieve my goals?
Keep learning. That's all. Like whatever you're thrown at, whatever is thrown at you, just keep take it up, learn things, and things will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So we often have hard times that are not really very much supportive, and people overtake your work, and it's like you don't get enough credits. It's not a very good phase of life at that point of time. So how do you handle such scenarios? Like, how do you maintain your peace?
Um, if that, frankly, that has never happened to me, by the way. But in case such a thing does happen, so the first thing would be to talk to the other person who did that to you. And if you do not reach a resolution, maybe you need to escalate it because it's your mental peace that's at
Yeah,
stake. So you need to be healthy before you can make contributions to the organization you're working for. So
definitely.
yes, then escalate.
Yeah. So if you ever write a book, what would will it be about?
Um, I think it probably would be about my journey so far
Okay,
in the
that's
tech
great. So
industry.
what would you name it?
What would I name it? Okay.
Do you have something already?
I don't really. It's just something I thought that okay, I'll just share my journey and
Definitely.
I think my learnings, I would say,
Yeah,
learnings in
definitely.
this tech
Works,
career.
works. Works, works. So what's your favorite music album?
My favorite music album, Simple Plan.
Okay, and what's your favorite game?
Favorite game. I'm addicted to God of War right now.
Absolutely amazing. That was the end of the session, and we are so thankful to you, Satyanshu, for accepting the invitation and having us enlighten with your thoughts. And it's absolutely inspirational, the entire story, and we have learned a lot from you, and I hope everyone does. So thank you, everyone. We are very much overwhelmed with the previous season's responses, and we hope that you love the season as well, and look forward for other more videos that we have for season one if you have not watched them yet. And thank you so much. We'll be there with another episode with another amazing guest that we have today. And thank you so much for watching us. Bye bye.